Good evening and welcome to the Wellness Team Call for Vitify. It is Tuesday, the 11th day of June, 2024. Tonight we have a great discussion planned. We are going to hear from Dr. Cesar Fernandez. I know that he was trained at Stanford. I know that he has been at the forefront of stem cell research, and this is on a global level. He is one of the leaders. He has also been on the board of health for his native Honduras, his home country. And he has served in that position. He has been in network marketing and had experience with products, with representing from a scientific standpoint for a couple of different companies. In fact, he met Shane Brady in one of those companies, and that's how they connected. They reconnected, I want to say about 8 months ago, maybe last fall. Dr. Cesar, maybe you can give us a quick intro and update on who that is and or how that happened, maybe, if that's the best way to say. But the easy thing to say is Dr. Fernandez loves Vitify, loves talking with distributors and entrepreneurs and customers, and loves representing the great parts of science that we're eager to share. Dr. Fernandez, good evening. How are you?
Hello, Dave. Hello. How's it going?
Wonderful. Especially tonight. We get to hear from you again.
So I'm very happy to be here with you also, and to see a lot of faces from all over the world. It was only 5 people over there, but now it's 30, and the number just keeps going, 31, and a lot of people is coming over, and I'm very happy always this Tuesday call because I got a lot of new things to talk to you about. I know some of you have been around for a while, but there's always new things coming over. My name is Cesar Fernandez. I'm a medical doctor from over 30 years now. And I was trained as a medical doctor on surgery and also in emergency rooms. But I twisted, years ago to make research in stem cells and building healthy lifestyles all over the world. And that being said, is very important to tell you that supplements now are not an option. Supplements now are mandatory. You need them because we live in a modern world that it needs to be supported in something else, not just food. We have a lack of nutrition right now in food. We have a lot of things surrounding us that are like meteorites, firing all over us, and we need to take care about this thing. And now I'm gonna talk to you about what happens. Last year we get in touch again with Shane and Laura, which are the CEO and founders of this company, and I actually didn't exactly knew what they were doing. But as soon as I started to go deep in this information, I figured out that they have something amazing. And month after month after month, I've been here for more than 6 months now. I just get to know that this is more amazing than I've ever suspected. And let me start sharing you some slides here to start tonight's talk. The thing is that I've been reaching a lot of okay, here we go. A lot of things about nanomicellar curcumin. We always talk about curcumin. Let's get started with this. We're not talking about turmeric. We're talking about the main bioactive component of turmeric, which is curcumin. Okay, what is nanomicellar curcumin? That's what we're gonna try to figure it out tonight. It's a huge difference between curcumin and nanomicellar curcumin. Okay, so there's something important you need to understand tonight, is that the following information is not intended to be a substitute of professional medical advice. It is only for informational, educational purposes based on preventive medicine. If you think you have any conditions shown in this presentation, we suggest you that you consult a certified healthcare professional for the diagnosis and treatment of any medical condition. This is very important. So let's get started with this girl, Lourdes case. I had this case a few months ago, and this girl, she has a cyclical joint pain, a lot of stress in her life, physical and mental fatigue, upper limits sugar level, high LDL cholesterol, low HDL cholesterol. Maybe some of you could see yourself in this, but what happens? Well, we suggest her start a diet, preference on vegetables, fruits, foods, fiber, avoid red meat, avoid refined sugars, processed food, soft drinks. Maybe you've heard this a lot, but it's a need to reach a healthy lifestyle. Avoid frying in vegetable oils, exercise, a few minutes of relaxation a day, or as recommended, drink enough water, and I add Nanophy 10 drops a day. Okay, so we're gonna get back to Lourdes at the end of this presentation. What happens to her? Okay, let's get started here with Ayurvedic medicine. I don't know if you are entitled or have you been in touch with this terminology. Ayurvedic is the history of Ayurveda begins 2000, 3000 before Christ, meaning that Ayurvedic principles have been in practice since then. Ayurveda is the science of life. It deals with natural methods of treating and preventive diseases and ways to maintain health. Okay, it wasn't through research, or it wasn't to like the modern science, but they've started looking to something specially, the turmeric root. The turmeric is a herbaceous plant. What is actually used is the root, the rhizome of the turmeric plant. Traditionally, it has been used in cooking as a pigment of textiles and also for health. And what happens is that Ayurvedic medicines, which was born in India, they started trying this curcumin, the turmeric, as an anti-inflammatory, cleansing the body, analgesic, anti-tumor, digestive, and antibacterial. So what happens today? The science, research makes it started to be very important in the last 3 decades, especially. And the information about curcumin and curcuma or turmeric, they said it has vitamins, it has minerals, calories, some fat, some protein, some carbs, fiber. But we focus on what? On the bioactive compound, which are curcuminoids. Curcuminoids, there are 4 types of them, which is the first one, and the one that is richer in curcuma or turmeric is the curcumin 1. It's 75% of the curcumin or the curcuminoids in turmeric. There are 3 other types, which are less: the dimethoxy, bisdimethoxy, and tetrahydrocurcumin. They are the 4 of them are the curcuminoids. They are phytonutrients, phytochemicals, and active constituents of the curcuminoids. So, this being said, let's talk about the curcumin. 1 kilo of turmeric, it only has 30 grams of curcumin, the main bioactive component of the turmeric. Lipophilic phenolic type, it means it has affinity to the fats, antioxidant activity as a polyphenol, and anti-inflammatory activity. It protects your liver, and it has a lot of multiple properties also. So they started to realize that curcumin has bioactivity. In the Journal of Nutrients in 2018, they start saying that they could demonstrate an anti-inflammatory activity immune regulation as a modulator, anti-diabetic effect, cardiovascular protection, hepatoprotection, neuroprotection, anti-cancer effect, and antioxidant activity. What does this mean? This means that they realize that this bioactive activity became protective. For example, how about a cardiovascular risk? Let's get started with a metabolic disease that it goes through the ROS, which is the oxidative area of our metabolism. What happens is that curcumin in first place, and other components, but curcumin in first place, they activate a protein in your DNA, which is called NRF2. What happens? This activates antioxidants inside your cell. What happens? It neutralizes the inflammation, the raise of cholesterol, the insulin resistance, the vascular dysfunction and atherosclerosis. It helps in the cardiac hypertrophy. So with this protective activity, the curcumin puts down the cardiovascular risk, okay? Again, I've searched something like curcumin, a total scale analysis of the scientific literature. What happens is that from 1970 until 2018, I found 8,036 manuscripts studied. It's the most studied food, because this is sort of a functional food, the most studied food or component to these days. What happens is that the investigation continues. According to a report, the number of investigations regarding turmeric and curcumin-1 is increasing. For example, until May 2021, the U.S. National Institute of Health has recorded 261 completed or ongoing clinical trials to study the use of curcumin in various clinical disorders. What happens is that they also found, how do they do it? How does curcumin make this sort of impact on our health? As an antioxidant, for example, curcumin is very effective in eliminating free radicals and neutralizing them. Turmeric curcumin is also thought to have the ability to prevent the development of free radicals in your systems, and therefore it drastically reduced the risk of diseases and cell damage caused by them. So if you could have the moment to read this journal, where they said oxidative stress, inflammation, and health are intimately related, you could see those black arrows over there surrounding oxidative stress. What are they saying? Oxidative stress could affect your lungs, your joints, your brain, your heart vessels, your eyes. Even if you're not hadn't born yet, when your mother is pregnant, you could be affected as a fetus through the oxidative stress damage inside your mother. So everybody's talking about how chronic inflammation in the etiology of diseases across the lifespan are fundamental to understand where are the problem going to, explode. And the chronic inflammation in the etiology of disease across the lifespan has causes and has consequences. If you are a person with physical inactivity, obese, or with dysbiosis, which is, an disbalance of microbiota inside your intestines, you have a bad diet, you have a chronic stress. Who doesn't, right? Disturbed sleep, xenobiotics, which is problems in water, problems, in the environment, and you also know about GMOs in food and things like that. So with these causes being said, you should understand that we go through a process of systemic chronic inflammation, which causes consequences that we all know. Call it diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, depression, autoimmune diseases, etc. What happens is that when you understand this, and you understand the cause, and you understand the process and the consequences that are waiting for you over there, everybody's going to go through that path. The thing is, when you understand these anti-inflammatory properties of curcumin, with its strongly anti-inflammatory properties that has been shown to be so powerful that it even matches effectiveness of some anti-inflammatory drugs. Curcumin has been shown to influence the activity and synthesis of enzymes that have been involved in inflammation. What happens is, when you get to understand all of this through different studies, at the beginning with anecdotal evidence, that I've told you before, studies using computer simulations, in vitro studies, clinical studies in animals, human clinical trials, multicentral studies. We have a bunch of evidence supporting all of this. And what happens is that when you start seeing all of this complication, all of these consequences that the oxidative stress through inflammation and oxidation are going to cause to you and I, what happens is that you need to understand how, and that's been said also, the physiopathology way that this happens. For example, in diabetes, the complications on it, in your sugar, in your liver disorders, in your adipocyte dysfunction, neuropathy, nephropathy, vascular diseases, your pancreas and other things, they not only says this would help you in this and that. No, they said how did it do it, and which are the processes that it's being used to do what it's been said. So this is science, my friends. This is science. This is not a marketing talk. This is basically scientific support of what we have. For example, let's make a little bit difference. We were talking about curcumin, decades of research, but in every single study, they always said at the end, well, but sorry, curcumin are not, have absorption and bioavailability problems. What happened with nanocurcumin? What about this study? Recent advances in curcumin based in nano formulations in diabetes. We were talking about diabetes, right? What they said is overall various nanocurcumin formulations highly increase curcumin water solubility and bioavailability. Moreover, nanocurcumin efficacy and various diabetes complications, for example, inflammation, neuropathy, depression, anxiety, keratopathy, cataract, cardiomyopathy, myocardial infarction, nephropathy, erectile dysfunction, and diabetic wounds. Wow, this is amazing. Moreover, several nanocurcumin formulation improved wound healing in the diabetic patients. That's the answer that you're going to hear from the people that started using nanocurcumin. Cardiovascular health, for example, curcumin improves the function of the endothelium, which is the lining of blood vessels. And it is well known that endothelial dysfunction is a major driver of heart disease and involves the inability of the endothelium to regulate blood pressure, blood clotting, and several other factors. It's been understood, it's been studied that curcumin is a protector of your cardiovascular system. It's been said, all the pathophysiology through the atherosclerosis process, through the vascular dysfunction process, through the cardiac hypertrophy. And what about nanomicellar curcumin? It improves the lipid profile, the stress oxidative factors, and inflammatory markers. For example, in a person or in patients undergoing coronary elective angioplasty. What happens when I read this National Institute of Health of the United States publication? The results were it lowers total cholesterol, it lowers triglycerides, it lowers also LDL cholesterol, low density. It also favors the antioxidant capacity, producing a lot of endogenous antioxidants like glutathione. And the conclusion was that the effects of curcumin on nanoformulas may be better for cardiac patients due to its high bioavailability, which means higher levels in blood, cells, and tissues. Wow. So when you get to realize all that we have in this micellar nanotechnology in our products, you get to know that, for example, in this study that I just read, 90 patients undergoing coronary elective angioplasty make improvements in antioxidant indexes, reduction of lipid profiles, inflammatory factors. Believe me, in only 8 weeks of treatment with curcumin and nanocurcumin, they put it in the study and they said these are amazing results. Let's get over cancer. For example, curcumin as an adjuvant in cancer immunotherapy. It's been said throughout the years, every person in the cancer area, for example, this was published in Frontiers in Oncology. It was in 2021, and they accepted scientifically that it stimulates apoptosis, prevents metastasis and tumor progression. It helps in anti-angiogenic activity, which means the born of new blood vessels to feed the tumors. And it also helps in the anti-proliferative action. So this being said, the thing is that since 2016 until 2021, this study accepted that curcumin was real good at cancer. But again, absorption and bioavailability troubles. What happens today? Today, fabrication of curcumin micellar nanoparticles with enhanced anti-cancer activity. As you could read over there, the results showed that relative solubilized curcumin, especially curcumin nanoparticles, demonstrated higher cytotoxicity against cancer cells. To our knowledge, this study, hear me what I'm going to say. To our knowledge, this study is the first to demonstrate the extent of the anti-cancer potency and cellular uptake of curcumin nanoparticles, and is directly correlated to the particle size. Our particle size is approximately 30 nanometers. So this is being accepted again scientifically, and I'm very, very impressed and very, very happy also to provide this opportunity to the people to try this on them. Skin health. Curcumin has antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal activities with an effect on skin. I have a lot of colleagues which are dermatologists that are trying them in their offices, and they are amazed of all the things that they could offer now as an alternative, as a coadjuvant to their treatments. So again, in your brain, neuroprotective. Curcumin it's been known, it's been said, it protects your brain, all the mechanisms in your brain function, mental performance. Yeah, it protects the nerve cells, the damage caused by free radicals, etc. But now, curcumin, look what they said in the past. it has been used to improve various neurodegenerative conditions, but like multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Parkinson's, stroke, anxiety, depression, aging, etc. But you look in black over there. However, the blood-brain barrier impedes the delivery of curcumin to brain, limiting its therapeutical potential. That's the main problem. But what happens now? Novel therapeutic delivery of nanocurcumin, again, in central nervous system related disorders. Now in 2020, they said, recently, several studies have reported on curcumin exosome-based delivery system showing great therapeutical potential. The present work aims to review the current available data and the bioactivity of curcumin in the treatment of or prevention of neurological disorders. And we could go on and go on, for example, with emotional problems. It's always been said that curcumin has a lot to do with your intestine, with your microbiome or your intestinal bacteria, and it helps to support it. But again, bioavailability and absorption. What happens now is beneficial effects of nanocurcumin, again, supplement on depression, on anxiety, and they found it in a randomized controlled trial in diabetic patients with neuropathy. They found it. They found that these people with problems of depression and anxiety, that the main problem was a neuropathy because of a diabetic condition, they found that this suggested that nanocurcumin supplementation for 8 weeks was effective in reducing depression and anxiety scores in patients with this neuropathy condition. So I think we still need to talk about a little bit of something that is very common, like joint health. Yeah, curcumin and or turmeric and curcumin, it's always been said, okay, it's going to be for your joints, for pain, for chronic pain. Yes, but what happens again? Absorption, bioavailability. What about what they are saying since 2019, effect of curcumin nanomicelles on clinical symptoms of patients with rheumatoid arthritis. Again, a clinical trial in people, in person, with all the scientific expected conditions to be published in the National Library of Medicine. And protecting your liver, again, another example. What happens? Nanomicelles curcumin on hepatic enzymes, a new treatment approach for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Conclusion, our study demonstrates that nanomycyl curcumin results in reduction of AST and ALT, which are the liver enzymes that are measured to figure it out how your liver is healthy or not, and is beneficial for the treatment of NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And also, it is not only useful in various alignments or alterations in your health, it also is used, for example, if you exercise. If you exercise, like in a healthy habit, exercise daily at your own pace, something do you like, it's mandatory, it's a need, making exercise. But what happens is that curcumin neutralizes free radicals that are produced during the exercise. Yeah, exercise, it brings up the free radicals in a natural metabolic process, but it raises the free radicals and causes soreness and injuries also. Heavy work or overuse causes injuries also. What is the mechanism of action over here? The use of curcumin reduces subjective perception of muscle soreness intensity, reduces muscle damage, increases muscle performance, and has an anti-inflammatory effect by modulating pro-inflammatory cytokines and have an antioxidant effect. What else? For example, in inflammation, the modulation of inflammatory markers that include COX-2, some of these prostaglandins, these difficult names, and interleukins, which, when moderated, play a role in inhibiting post-exercise muscle soreness. So if you exercise, if you are an athlete, or if you are a good performer in sports, okay, you need to take curcumin, especially the one that is more bioavailable and absorbed by your body. So, as you all know, the hidden secret is absorption and bioavailability. It doesn't matter how much curcumin is consumed. The important thing is how much is absorbed, how much reaches the bloodstream, organs, and tissues. There's a bunch of things out there. Curcumin alone, turmeric, by itself, or curcumin with piperine, or curcumin with coconut water, or with other liposome, or there's a lot of cyclodextrin. There's a lot of people trying to get the result of good bioavailability and absorption. But what happens is that the sad end of curcumin, for example, of 500 milligrams of curcumin, only 2 to 5% reaches your bloodstream. 2 to 5%. And out of it, 50% of it is absorbed by the liver, and it goes through a process that 10% goes to the organs, and the rest, 90%, goes to the toilet. And the other way is going straight to the toilet through your kidneys and through your intestines. What I'm trying to tell you is that we have very, very few chances of get curcumin into our bloodstream cells and tissues through the process that we all understand, which is the one that's been performing since the 10, 20 years from now before. So there's another thing, that consuming large amounts of turmeric powder doesn't mean you'll get a beneficial concentration. That's what I was talking about. Trials have shown that there are low levels of curcumin in blood samples and participants who received high doses of curcumin. That's what they said in the study that's in your right. So the low bioavailability, the big problem. It is also an issue, time. How long does it stay in your bloodstream? For example, maybe you could get 5% or 10% of the curcumin that you put in your mouth. Okay, let's say 10% with bioperine gets to your blood. Okay, but in 1 to 3 hours, there's none. Everything's gone. So you need to keep taking all these pills every 1, 2, or 3 hours to get 5% of the amount that you're ingesting. So time is an issue also. So in the search for greater bioavailability, there's a lot of types of capsules and a lot of products, but we reach up to 277x plus the amount in blood that all of them are trying to get. So the Federal Ministry of Education and Research in Germany, as you all know, they were tired, I think, of just looking at the labs and the research and the evidence that curcumin was amazing, but they weren't able to put that amazing results into the human being at that time. And they created, with the Hohenheim University at Stuttgart, Germany, a BioMS nanotechnology. It's 3 technologies, by the way, in the same product. And The thing is that mesalazed nanocurcumin is the highest bioavailability on the market. This German research product is easy to consume, it's liquid presentation, it's effective and very safe. It's very important, very safe, and it has quality assurance. There's a lot of people, even doctors, send me messages. Some of them even call me and says, come on, this thing are gonna have problems with this, rock in your kidneys or in your liver. Or the thing is that they are talking about turmeric, not about nanocurcumin. The one thing is turmeric, and the other thing is curcumin, and the other thing is nanocurcumin. It's three things. The three of them are different. Turmeric could cause you several problems in your health. It's been demonstrated. But the curcumin has nothing to do with it, because when you extract the 3 to 5% of curcumin in turmeric, you avoid all these problems. And when you put it into technology of mesalazed nanocurcumin, like the one we have, you are 99% effective and safe. So you could be very happy with this. And so that's the why we are spreading out all through the world. As you could see in this map, all these red dots, we already have presence over there. And we are just about to open Australia and New Zealand next month, and also soon in Central America, where I'm living right now, in Honduras, El Salvador, and all of these countries around. We are going to be, as soon as we can, opening these markets. So there's a guarantee that reaches your cells. What? Our product. Nano5, for example, guarantee that reaches your cells. And how much to take? 10 drops a day? Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Some of you maybe need to take 15, maybe need to take 20 drops a day, up to 20 drops a day, I could say. And it lasts 24 hours in your bloodstream, in your tissues, and your cells. Okay, the effectiveness of this product have amazed me a lot. So what happens with Lourdes at the beginning? Currently, more stress management, normal sugar and cholesterol levels, joint pain has decreased amazingly, feels more energetic, continues her wellness plan, and continues her Nano5 with an infusion in a daily basis of 10 drops a day. So this is very helpful. I think this is gonna give you a hand of what you could say, how could you say it, how could you support the science in all of this. So thank you so much, and remember, the best is yet to come.
Thank you, Dr. Fernandez. Thank you first of all, for all of your training and your expertise, everything that you have built into your lifestyle and your habits, and it's really your wisdom, because you've studied and you've known things, and now we have a better understanding of how it works, what it does, and how we can benefit from it. And that's amazing. Many people have heard of turmeric. Not many people know that it's not very strong in bioavailability, and that the effective ingredient is curcumin, and that makes it even less bioavailable until we get the nanomicellized version that was explained so beautifully by Dr. Fernandez. We appreciate you all being with us, taking some time out of your evening. We will post this to the Vitify YouTube channel. And then from that channel, when you're watching a video, look for the button at the bottom right that typically says subscribe. Then as you're subscribed, you will be notified when new information or new posts come out. We're talking about product, we're talking about events, we're talking about business, and we'll make sure you stay up to date by that method. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great evening. We really appreciate your presence tonight and the energy shared in the chats and in the just your willingness to invite and to be open to this great new information. Thanks to everybody and have a great night. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.